All right. All right, so this is the sampling methods shoes exercise. So what we just did was, all we did was look for, this is the first one. This is our simple random sample. So I just printed out a page for each. So we have the simple random sample. And all I did was, with the simple random sample, you could think of it as, from our notes, we can even pull it up. You could think of it as, we're going to number all objects. So you make like a list, you number all your objects, then you just use random number generator to find the sample by pulling out the number that's generated. Okay, so we did that, and you can see here that for my random number generator, I just used an app on my phone. You could use any of them. Well, let me get out of the way so you can do that. Okay, so this app on the phone, there we go. You know, it allows you, it allows you to put your lower limit, your upper limit. We had 12 shoes, and then I just pushed generate, and that's how I figured out all the shoes that I selected. It's that easy. All right, so let's see if this works as a part-time job. Let's see how much money we'd get for these shoes. We got 450 plus 300 plus 400 plus 750. Oh, we're getting close. Plus 650. I think we got it. 350. 2,900. Nice. We don't have to get a real job. We could sell shoes. It's awesome. That was a loud clap. All right, so that was SRS, standard random sample. Simple random sample. Simple. Thumbs up for simple random sample. Thumbs up for simple random sample. That one's really straightforward, right? You number them, you use a number generator, and that allows you to get to the answer pretty quick. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. The next one. So I'll get a clean sheet. Take a screenshot of that if you needed it. Take a screenshot real quick. 3, 2, 2.5. No, I'm going the wrong way. 1.75. That's getting old. 0. Okay. Here we go. Same goal to get over $2,500. This one, if you feel comfortable, and you know what? Honestly, you could probably even reuse your page that you had here. You probably can reuse it, and there's probably a way not to write down the list. I'm not sure. It might get too messy, actually, unless you really label, okay, this was my simple random sample. And maybe use a different color pen, right? Because next we're going to do cluster. Okay, we're still getting 6 shoes. And we'd put them in here. So I'd put chick, bio, retro, foam, media, fresh. Okay. All right, so if you can figure out with different colors or whatever, you know that with different colors, you might not have to rewrite these. I don't mind as long as you give me a sample set that I can see your answers in real clearly. So let's, I'm going to move this, and we're going to look at what is the cluster sample again. What is that cluster sample? Divide objects into naturally occurring clusters. Use your random number generator to select the cluster, and then within that cluster, random number generator picks the object. You're going to do that and then start from the beginning. Pick your cluster, pick your object. Find your object, start from the beginning. Pick your cluster, pick your object. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that. How could we break these shoes up? How can we break them up? What could we do? Low top, high tops. We could do colors, dark, light, and colorful. We can do we could do it based on, let's see, even the size. But I say let's just do it where 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that doesn't quite work. I'm gonna go ahead and jot it down right here. Let's do our clusters as, let's see, whitish shoes, blackish, dark shoes, and then colorful shoes. Let's do that. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start with my clusters here, and I'm gonna call this cluster you know, the lighter shoes. Then we're going to have darker shoes, and then we'll have color. So let's throw some in there as we go. Where does this one go? Chicago goes down here in color. Chicago. This one, that'll be fine. We'll put that as colorful too because the toe looks pretty colorful there. Bio. This guy, the CPFM, is definitely the lighter one. PFM. So we're just making our clusters right now. All right. Next one we have is the retro black. That's definitely going to be the darker one. And we have Be True. That's pretty light color. All right. Next side. Let's put the Ren, the Louis Vuitton one, in the darker one. Colorful. That's our foam. Foam. Let's see. Yeezy's like right in the middle. I'm not sure. It's got dark high top, so I'm gonna go with Yeezys here. Media Day, that's colorful. Fresh Good, colorful. Virgil, lighter. Darker. Sock. Okay. Everyone okay with those categories? Does that kind of make sense why each fits in each? Yeah, I think it's apparent there. So let's go ahead and label the categories. This is category 1, category 2, category 3. So remember, we're doing a cluster sample, so we had to categorize them based on natural kind of divisions, natural characteristics. And then let's go in here and label within each cluster. This is number 1, 2, 3. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there's more color shoes than not. But this, if we do this method, it basically will help us likely get a mixture. So we won't have all the colorful shoes, but it is random, so maybe not. Let's go ahead and do a random number generator. But here's where, remembering that with cluster sample, divide the objects naturally occurring color. Okay, clusters, we did that. Now use the random number generator, find the cluster. From that cluster you choose, find the object with the same random number generator again. And then you start over. So let's start from the beginning with this. We have to pick a cluster first. So instead of 12, I'm going to put 3. And I don't trust that generated that, so I'm going to hit it again. We got cluster 1. So now we're looking at cluster 1. And then we have 3 options in cluster 1. I love it because I've already had my upper lower limit between 1 and 3. So we just have to generate it again to find our selection. Boom. 2. So I picked Be True. Be True. Okay. Thumbs up for finding the first item. Thumbs up for finding the first item. Yeah? All right. All right. So we're going to just now go back and do the same process from the beginning as if I hadn't picked any yet. I got Be True, but I'm going to start from the beginning. Keeping all these numbers and everything good here, we're first going to find what category. So I have it between 1 and 3 because there's 1, 2, 3 categories. And let's see what we get. I don't trust it. Oh, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Sorry, I think I messed up. It was right. We got a 3. We got a 3. So we're looking at the colorful shoes. What do I need to change my upper limit to? It's not going to be 3. Show me on your hands. What do I got to change it to? What do I got to change it? It's not going to be 3 because we're looking in cluster number 3 here. But how many options? Good, good, good. All right, see a lot of people holding up. 5. And we're going to go and generate 2. So what I did was first, I picked cluster 3, random number, and then I picked 2, so I know I'm going to have the bio as my second selection. Okay, let's do that again. We have to change this from the beginning, so we got to go 1 through 3 to find our cluster. Generate. We're in cluster 3 again. So we pick cluster 3 again. Now we have to go in and pick the shoe. So I go here and put in 5, generate, and I got the 4th one. I got media. All right, halfway there. Halfway there. All right, let's go to the beginning again. I have to pick my cluster, so I make it out of 1 to 3 as my options, and then I push generate, and I got 2. So now I'm looking at the cluster number 2. I'm looking at the darker shoes because I got a 2. All right. Lucky, lucky, lucky. There's only, no, that's not lucky. We got to change the upper limit. What do we change the upper limit to, guys? What do we change the upper limit to? 4, because we're in cluster 2 now, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 options in there. I almost forgot that sock. 4. Go. Let's generate it. I don't trust when it doesn't change. I don't trust when it doesn't change. All right. And that's probably not just because I'm using my phone. I can't see it like spin. So we got the sock because I did 1 through 4 and I got 4. All right, we got 4 down. We got 2 more to go. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back and pick our cluster. 3. All right, we're looking at cluster 2. We're looking, no, I don't trust it because it just, all right, we're looking at cluster 3. Just because I had already picked 2, I'm not sure how this thing is working as well here. Okay, so we have cluster 3. There's a chance that we could pick the same one again. If that happens, we'll just pick another number because we're looking within that cluster. All right, generate. That's how I'll push it. Just push generate. All right, we got Chicago. Last one. Last one. Find our cluster. Generate. Cluster 1. And now in cluster 1, there's 3 options. So I'm going to keep it 1 out of 3. We get 2. We've already done. Let's try another. We get 2 again. 2 again. 2 again. That's a 1 in 81 chance. Let's do it again. Come on. 3. We got a different one. Woo. Okay, we got our 6 shoes. All right, so let's see how much these are worth. Let's see how much money we earn. So in your homework, you would just rewrite it as, you could call that B, Virgil, sock, chick, bio, media. Okay, and let's see how much money that was. I think this one we had 2,900. So let's see if we can beat 2,900. Okay. So let's see what we have. We have the B true is $1,000. That's an expensive shoe. Jeez. Virgil, we get 554. Let's see what else. Sock is 450. Chicago was 450. Now it's getting close. Bio was 300. Media 650. Wow, nice. Yes, we don't have to get a job. We can sell shoes online and mail them. You don't even have to, size somebody's feet and put their shoe on their foot. All right, so we got $3,400. Thumbs up or sideways or down for cluster. For cluster. All right, awesome. Okay, let's keep going, and I'm glad we get to do this next one. We're going to do stratified sample, because I think we can actually keep the same groupings. Because look what it says. It's very, very close. It's like clusters, alter ego, doppelganger. So slight difference though. Let's look. Divide the population into subsets with similar characteristics. So, hey, I think we're pretty good. Let's use these again. Maybe I'll use just a different color and keep the same ones. So we're going to use these breakdowns because I think these are similar characteristics already. Light, dark, colorful. I don't mind if you use the same one. You could have put shoe sizes, right? You could have put, sizes 6 to 9, 10 to 12, and over 12. But for this, I say we keep it with light, dark, and colorful. So divide the population into similar subsets. Use the random number generator to select objects from each subset. So instead of first picking the category and then looking inside the category, now we're just going to go, all right, lighter shoe, 1 through 3, let's find our lighter shoe. Darker shoe, 1 through 4, let's find a darker shoe. Color, let's find a color. Back to light till we get all 6. Okay? So I think we do need a different piece of paper for like just jotting these down. So I'm just going to put this over it. Keep all this here. That's fine. Let's do this. Call it Stratify. Stratified sample. I'm just going to go and do one of these. And then we'll have how much we earn. All right. So all I need to do is get my random number generator up again. So you see before we had it between 1 and 3, we were trying to figure out which category to go with. But I don't need to figure out the category. I just need to go to the first category. First category and pick one of those and then move on. So I'm gonna circle them in red so that it's a little bit different. And let's see what our first selection is from lighter shoes. Boom. 1. All right. CPFM. Let's see. We have to go to darker, and there's not 3 shoes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got to change this up to 4. And then I generate 4. So I got the sock. I got the CPFM. Remember, this is different than what we chose before. The yellow is for cluster sample. I'm just using the same list. So stratified sample, we're using the same list and just circling them. That was our first. That was for darker. Now let's do colorful. We got to change that to 5 because there's 5 items. Randomly select 3. We got the foam. Now we go back to the front. We go back up to lighter. And there's an option that we may not get a different number. And if that happens, we'll push generate again. So 1 through 3, because there's 3 options here. And I got 3, yes. Virgil. This is probably the best option to use, right? To get a variety of shoes. All right, let's go down to the darker shoes. We'll change that to be 1 through 4, keeping in mind that there were 4 items in there, even though 1 selected. And then look what we get. 4. Bummer. So we got sock again. We're not going to get 2 pairs of socks. We're going to get, really? 1 in 16 chance. How about next? 1 in 64 chance to get 4 3 times in a row. What's next? 1. Yes, thank you. A different number. Retro. So if you get the same selection, just keep pushing it to get a new one. Let's go down here to colorful. This will be our last selection. There's 5 options. I got to change that up. Out of 5, generate 1. Chicago. Okay, so with the stratified sample, what I just figured out was CPFM, Virgil, retro, sock, Chicago, and the foam. Those are my 4 selections. Let's see how much money we made. All right, so we had CPFM was $200 plus the Virgil was $550 plus the retro is $400 plus the sock is $450 plus the Chicago was $450 plus the foam was where's the foam one? Foam, there it is, $750. That's a lot. Boom, barely this time. 2,800. So we got 2,800 for this one. But I think with this one, we got a better sample of shoes because we have kind of equal number of different kinds of shoes. So you can see that just in that little change, how we did a different kind of sample and we got a different range. We're going to apply that later in seeing, well, they made that study, but they only selected red shoes, right? There's something wrong if they say all shoes are red. They were just looking at red shoes. So this is coming back to the sample has to match the big picture, the population. And we can see if people are cheating and trying to make things up because it won't match. Hey, thumbs up or sideways or down for stratified? Thumbs up or sideways or down for stratified? What do you think? Okay. All right. Awesome. So far, it feels like stratified is very similar to cluster. Simple random samples, just list and get your random numbers. So let's see what's next. We have to look at this last one. This one's tricky. This one's tricky, but we can do it. We can do this. Forget about all this mess. I'm going to point you to this picture here. First, you got to find the increment, right? That's going to be equal to the steps to the next selection. The increment also tells us where we're going to have our starting point, okay? Where we're going to have our starting point. So first I need to figure out this increment. So I'd say if you're doing, let's fold it. We're doing our stratified option here. So I would write, systematic sample. Whoa. All right, we got our systematic sample. So first we got to find our increment. And just remember what the increment is for a second. It's the number in the population. The population is all your shoes. All your shoes are your population, and we got 12. So we put the increment is going to be 12 over the desired number in your sample. How many shoes are we picking? 6 shoes. So watch, 12 over 6, we get 2. All right. And honestly, that's most of the work. That's most of the work, finding the increment. Because now we're going to find where we start. And then it's just like that first grade game Skip-Bo, where you skip around doing steps. And our steps are going to be 2 steps to get to the next problem. To the next shoe. So I'm going to use this right here for stratified because I think it's going to be easiest to, there we go. It's going to be easiest just to kind of mark them and write them right on this, okay? So if you hadn't done that, I'd say you probably have to kind of set up a list like our simple random sample. So if you're doing this assignment right now, go ahead and copy this list again that we did for simple random sample, and that'll help us to select them and circle them, okay? So write that list out really quick. You should already have it, I hope, for the SRS, but I'll leave it here for you guys to copy these down again. Don't circle anything because we're going to do systematic for this. And yeah, we'll just number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got an increment of 2. The starting point is the one thing we got to remember. We got to remember this part. Because the starting point is going to be in the first 2 options. It's either going to be the Chicago or the bio. So whatever you find for your increment, if this ended up being 5, if this was 5, then my starting point would be between 1 and 5, right? So the increment also tells us where we start. This is going to tell us start where? Where you're going to start? Where you start. And it's also going to say the steps. The steps to get to your next answer. All right. Let's go ahead and get out our random number generator again. But here's the thing. When we are going to find our starting point, I don't need 5. What do I need in order to look for my starting point? And it's connected to the increment, remember? Because it can be one of the 2 beginning options. So the increment also says where you're going to start. It's going to be between 1 and 2 because that's a 2. Let's see. We got 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it. 2. All right, once you get your starting point, you've already done all the work. You've done all the work. Now it's just counting. Watch, it's just counting. Because if I'm starting on 2 and I take 2 steps, where do I end up? Let's see. 1, 2. That's my next selection. Right? 1, 2. That's my next selection. One step, 2 step. That's my next selection. I sounded like the Count from Sesame Street. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. 1, 2. There we go. So find the increment. That helps you find the starting place. The increment is how many steps to get to the next one. And that's how we are going to select our shoes for this. And I'm going to go ahead and write our shoes down here. We'll see how much money we got. Bio, retro, ren, easy, fresh, sock. So fresh, so clean socks. Boom. Let's see how much money we earn. That's the big thing. That's what we care about. Anybody catch that Outcast reference? No. Yes, no, maybe so. Biohack is $300 plus the retro is $400 plus the ren $65 for the ren. That's not very much because they're so expensive. We had to give a big cut. Easy is $600. Uh-oh, this one's getting close. Fresh $350 plus sock $450. Oh man, we got to get a real job. That's a bummer. We only earned $2,165. So when we use systematic, in this case, with systematic, we ended up not making enough money. Too bad. All right. Hey, thumbs up, sideways, or down for systematic. Yeah? That one's like the hardest one, right? I actually feel like going over this right now kind of abridged it and made it a little more concentrated. And did this help? Thumbs up, sideways, or down? Did this help a little bit to like go over it? I thought so. Okay. So I recorded this. I'm going to stop the video then. And, 3 out of 4 times we're going to be able to sell these shoes and make enough for our part-time job. So that ain't bad.